What we can do now, of course, is you would have to set keyframe 1 for the rotation here and then go to the end. RZ360i for the rotation. And then we can do the same thing here too, and then we have to do the whole thing double below. But maybe we don't want that. We only want to keyframe an object because we just want to tell that object to always rotate in the same way as the object below it. It should practically stick to the turntable below, and there's a feature for that called parenting. To do this, we first select the monkey, then press the turntable with shift left click. Now press Ctrl P for the parenting menu and say object. And now the monkey and the turntable are connected and they spin in the exact same direction. Super cool, right? And the same goes for moving and scaling. And the super cool thing here is that we don't have to set our keyframes twice. That means now here it's really just rotation at frame 1 and then RZ360, and now you'll see our object rotates like we want it to. It's also important to check this in Graph Editor, so maybe we want the interpolation back to linear, so press AT linear again. And now we just have a nice turntable without having to animate it twice. And the cool thing now is that we can actually take our monkey and move it, although the rotation is still taking over. And that gives you a whole bunch of really cool options with parenting. Here's a little trick. What if you don't want the object to move, but want the camera to move around the object or around the center of the scene? Well, first of all, we have to add a camera because we don't have one at the moment. For example, if you want the camera to look roughly at our scene from this angle, go to View, Align View, Active Cameras to View. Now you can see our camera view and you can move it around a little bit to make sure that it looks all nice. And now we're going to add another empty to our scene, and we'll just pick the cube. Empties are all the same, honestly. Then we select the camera, then we do shift left click on the empty, Ctrl P, object. And if we now set keyframes for the rotation by pressing I for rotation here and again RZ 360 degrees, you will see that the camera orbits around our scenes in the center. So with this trick you can very easily do a camera orbit around a certain object. Now by scaling the empty larger and smaller, we can make adjustments in that as well. We can also move the empty at the same time while the animation is running. And of course we can rotate the camera and move the camera at the same time while orbiting around the object. Again, the curve is the default, but it doesn't matter. You can set up the standard interpolation mode in Blender by going to the settings. You can go to the settings by pressing Command, comma. Then under animation, change the interpolation mode to, for example, default, and in the drop-down menu you can find many other options which you already know from the Graph Editor. Just select linear, for example, so we don't have to do it every time. T linear. And now we don't have the problem again, which means we have a constant angle, a constant distance to the center of the scene, which we can adjust with the scale. That said, parenting is definitely incredibly important and incredibly cool, and you can do quite a few things with it. And now you say, for example, I want to make a McDonald's cup because I feel like it. And you have your cylinder and you say, yes, okay, yes, I'll take it as a shape first, and then I'll duplicate my cylinder for my own sake, and I'll move it up and compress it on the Z-axis. And then this is my lid, and the lid needs to be a bit bigger. And then maybe I'll twist my straw. You will notice quickly that you will reach your limits, because that doesn't look anything like a McDonald's cup. It really doesn't look like anything at all. For example, a McDonald's cup is wider at the top than it is at the bottom, so it's a different shape. So you want to know how to change shapes and how to make specific shapes that fit the mesh that you have in your head? We will learn all about that in the next tutorial, which is about modeling, and I'm excited for it. I hope you're excited too, because it's gonna be very interesting. See you then!